What is up, my beautiful peaches? I have my co-host Trisket with me today in my lap. She was very ready to bark at anybody and everybody who is walking along the street. So she is now currently in my lap. It is also freezing outside, so she is keeping me warm. We will hope that she does not get overly excited and I hear her making little noises into my mic right now, so hopefully it is not too loud. Today we are going to be talking all about why you will never lose weight if you refuse to track macros. Now, I recognize as I'm saying that sounds like such a harsh statement, and I don't mean it to be a harsh statement. I just mean it to be the tough love that you might need to hear. And I think, and I'm actually going to share an interesting story about myself. When I first started tracking macros, I absolutely hated them. I hated them with a burning passion. And I will tell you a little bit about that story because I think it might relate a lot to you and you might have some aha moments in that. But I first want to really talk about why you might feel stuck with macros, kind of as an introduction to this episode. So you might have been tracking macros for a short period of time, a long period of time, but you feel like you're consistently starting over every single Monday. You are wanting to throw in the towel with your macros. You are, feeling lost in social situations. You are using macros to keep you in a restrictive intake, and it's making you really, really, really want to quit them entirely. You feel like you cannot eat out. You feel like you get off track every weekend. You feel like you have to say no to, going out for ice cream with your kids, going to, try the new fun restaurant with your significant other, going for, tacos and margaritas with your friends. And it's really not enjoyable. And I hear you entirely. That is not fun to feel like you have to give up your life in order to actually hit your macros and get results. And also the truth of the matter is macros are not your problem. It's how you're actually using them that is the problem. And I know this firsthand because I truly lived in this for years upon years upon years when I first started tracking macros. So I'm actually going to talk you through the biggest macro tracking mistakes that are keeping you stuck and making you want to continuously throw in the towel that I have personally made myself, and also how to actually use your macros the right way in order to create that food freedom instead of feeling restricted, okay? The goal is to really get you to stop the start over cycles, that's kind of hard to say, and the all or nothing mentality, okay? So I first want to talk you through why I initially quit macros when I first started tracking and kind of what my experience was there. So when I first started tracking macros, I really, really, really hated it. And I remember literally when I stopped tracking and when I kind of like quit for the first time, and also for the last time. But one Friday night, my friends had invited me out for Macos. That was supposed to be margaritas and tacos, and it came out Macos, which is funny because I literally had margaritas and tacos last night. I am recording this on a Tuesday, and it was a random Monday, and I had Monday, words are hard, a random Monday, and I had margaritas and tacos, and it was wonderful. I woke up today feeling great. But I remember that Friday night, my friends had invited me out for margaritas and tacos, and I spent literally all day debating if I should go or not. I had told myself that, this was the week that Triscuit's sniffing my mic right now. I hope you couldn't hear that. Although it would be hilarious if you could. But I had already told myself that I wasn't going to be eating out anymore because any time that I did eat out, I got completely off track. I had no idea how to order the shrimp tacos without ruining my progress, without face first into the chips and queso and guacamole and double-decker nachos. I just assumed I would go into a full-on spiral, so I convinced myself that I was going to fail if I went out to this dinner, okay? So instead of just enjoying the meal and moving on, I did go into that all or nothing mentality. I'm already off track. I might as well go all in, right? The double-decker nachos, the face to the chips and queso, the full spiral, ending it with all the ice cream at home, making cookies, and a full-on binge, which led me to wake up the next day feeling like, oh man, what have I done? I have broken the promise to myself. I am a failure. I feel so horrible that I did this to myself. And I want to say this statement again because it's so powerful. And a mentor and also a friend of mine recently said it to me again. And I've heard this like over, on and off over the past years, but she said it again recently. I'm like, oh, this is so good. But keeping promises to yourself is one of the best forms of self-care, okay? One of the best forms of self-care. So just keep that in your mind as you're moving forward with the rest of your life. But the thing here about me was I was perfect all week. Oops, hitting my mic. Hope that wasn't loud. I have a weird setup today with my office because we are like getting situated in our new home still. So I hope you can hear me okay in my mic. But the thing about me was I was perfect all week and I would blow my progress every single weekend, but it was also blowing my progress every single holiday. I would blow my progress anytime, even if it was like just going out and I didn't know how to track a donut because it had no nutrition label. So really anytime I was outside of my own home where I had the comfort of my food scale, I had the comfort of knowing what I was actually eating and the macros for it, I found myself going completely off track. So I quit macros. I said, nope, this is not for me. It's not going to work for me. I am done. And you know what happened? Do you know what happened? Fast forward a few months, I wasted so much time. I wasted so much energy. I wasted so much money on quick fixes that made me yo-yo diet even harder. And I was making my life even more miserable. So I thought to myself, I was like, I see so many women who are thriving with tracking their macros. I have got to be missing something. I am so unhappy. I am at this all-time low in my life. I have got to be missing something. So this time when I started macros, I took a different approach. And I actually, at that time, this was before I had all of my nerdy degrees. This was before my bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics, my master's in exercise science and sports nutrition, like all the nerdy things. I actually invested in a coach at that time who had some absolutely amazing credentials, someone who I now feel proud to say I feel I am that person. And I actually invested in their support, their help to help teach me how to track macros the right way, in a way that allowed me to go out to eat at a restaurant, to allow me to enjoy the holidays without feeling like I need to restrict leading up to them or go completely binge during holiday season. I was able to start going to vacations without stressing the entire time and, go out to eat and enjoy, the fun food without waking up the next day being like, man, what are all or nothing? I guess I might as well just start over again tomorrow or on Monday. So really any situation where I was away from my own home. And let me tell you, it made macros a heck of a lot more fun, a heck of a lot more, I almost want to say easy. And I don't want you to think like, it is. So here's the thing though. When it comes to, Trisket is desperate to get down. When it comes to getting results and starting to track your macros, it's not going to necessarily be easy at first, but it is going to, when you have the right strategy, you have the right support, it's going to feel easier than you are really, I think, making it out to be. And that's what it was for me. I kept making it seem like this unattainable, extremely hard thing that is going to be impossible, that, it's going to take so much work. And yeah, it will take a little bit of work. It will take a learning curve in the beginning. But if you think about anything that you are good at right now, there was a learning curve. And quite truly, nothing worth having is going to come easy. But once you are actually starting to get the hang of things, it does become second nature. And I really, truly stand by the fact that if you are somebody who actually wants to hit your goals and you want to do it in a way that's going to be sustainable long term, I believe that you're going to put in that work. I believe that you're going to do what's best for you and you're going to step away from the yo-yo dieting. You're going to invest in support. You're going to ask for help because you have to start making decisions now as the woman, like the decisions that you think the woman you want to become would make and the person that you'd be proud of. You've got to start making those decisions now because that's how you're actually going to end up becoming that woman and becoming the woman of your dreams. It's just, you've got to start doing that because I think, and I talked about this in the last episode, I talk about this all the time, but I was staying stuck for so long because I was making decisions as a person who was living in fear and as a person who didn't see myself as someone that I could look up to. Like, I want to be able to look up to myself. I want to be a role model for not only myself, but those around me. But I was making decisions as the person who isn't going to be that role model. So when you change the narrative and you change the actual actions you are taking, it's not going to happen overnight. It is simply not going to happen overnight. But if you have the consistency, if you continue to show up as that woman, you will become that woman. Okay. I see it. I have seen it in thousands of women. Thousands of women. I've supported thousands of women, and I see in the ones who are stepping up to the plate, they become the woman of their dreams, and they step into this next chapter of their life that they are so incredibly happy in, okay? And you are so deserving of that. I believe that to be true about you, okay? Now, what happened when I actually made this shift? My results absolutely freaking skyrocketed. They skyrocketed, okay? I was able to actually start hitting my macros. I was able to enjoy my life. I was able to actually reverse diet, and I went from around 900 to 1200 calories to well above 2000 calories without that weight regain. I was gaining this beautiful muscle. I was in control around food. I felt free. I felt like me again. And the truth of the matter, it's all because I learned to master my macros in social scenarios. And it seems like such a simple tweak, and it seems like such a simple way to be able to, break out of this all or nothing mentality and break out of this space where you are feeling like a failure, but it is one of the most rewarding things in the entire world. And with this, I actually want to share something that I'm really, really excited about. So my Master Your Macros course, this actually, I ran it as a challenge a while back, twice actually, but then I had this realization that I have women who are reaching out all the time who are like, Caitlin, I'm really struggling with their all or nothing mentality. Caitlin, I'm getting off track every weekend. And I'm like, oh, but I have this challenge, but I'm not going to be running it again for another year. And I'm like, I can't help you right now. And it was breaking my heart. So what I've actually done is I've taken my Master Your Macros challenge and I've actually done some renovating to it. I've given it a nice little facelift. I've added some really, really good lessons to it, and I've turned it into a course for under $100. Please note it is currently under $100. I might increase the price just because it is selling like hotcakes. People are literally obsessed with it, and I've had multiple people who are like, Caitlin, this is a steal. Why are you selling it so cheap? But as of right now, I'm keeping the price because you deserve to dive into it. So my Master Your Macros course, let me see if I can actually, with Trisket in my lap here, pull up the actual page for you so you can go directly to it. It's going to be my website, which is CSCHMIDT.fit, the same exact thing as my Instagram. You're going to do /master-your-macros. The other easy way to do this is just go down to my show notes and click the link. That'll also bring you to it. But this is my course for women who do want to end the self-sabotage cycle that is holding you back from healing your metabolism, from finally losing that stubborn fat, from finally having the confidence to really, really step into this new chapter of your life. And I really, truly believe the difference here in the women who are really struggling to hit their macros. You need to master your macros. When I look at a client of mine and the journey that they go through, I kind of see it in 3 steps. Okay, so number 1, starting to track your custom starting macros. So having that basic, correct, proper macros, your starting proper macros, okay? You've got those. Step number 2, you have to master tracking your macros. And this means actually hitting those macro goals without feeling the all or nothing, without feeling like you can't go out to eat, without feeling like you can't enjoy your life, okay? And then the 3rd step is actually learning how to adjust your macros, whether that's for a reverse diet, whether that's for a calorie deficit, lean bulking, all of those fun pieces. So it's a 3-step process. Something about Master Your Macros is it will help you really, really take those next steps from feeling stuck and having that vision of, I know what needs to be done. And a lot of women come to me, they're like, Caitlin, I know what needs to be done. Like, I know what I need to do, but I cannot do it. I can't get it done. And I had somebody actually who was talking to me, the number of times I have somebody who's like, Caitlin, I know what needs to be done. I feel like I can do this on my own. And I'm like, just, if you don't mind me asking, like, how long have you been trying to do it on their own? Like, how long has it been? It's 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years. And they're so fixated on trying to do it on their own that they're actually pushing their results away. And I don't mean to, I guess it's just more of the tough love, because I was that person too. And I was like, no, I just want to do this on my own. And the thing about this is, like, we all have our own expertise, right? I am not going to go change a tire on my car. I mean, I actually probably could YouTube that, but I'm still not going to do it because I would probably mess it up. I'm going to ask for help. I am not going to go, I'm not going to do these things that are somebody else's expertise. I'm going to ask for help because that's going to save me time, that's going to save me energy, and that's going to save me money in the long run, if we're being completely honest. So this is getting lengthy and long. If you are interested in mastering your macros, go check it out. It is absolutely freaking phenomenal. The feedback has been insane. I have had women who within a week have already started having these crazy success stories of hitting their macros, feeling, I had a little hiccup there. Feeling really good, of already starting to see results. So I really, really, really highly suggest going to master your macros, my gal. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I've got some really good episodes coming to you the next couple weeks that I am very, very excited about. So if you have not, follow my podcast. Depending on where you are actually listening to it, there's a couple different ways you can follow it, but follow it because then you will get notifications when I have new episodes, and they're so good. They are so good. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, beautiful peach.